Hey guys, and welcome to another video. This video will be part of my adulting series where we can talk about all the adulting stuff that we're facing as a young working adult. So in this video, I'm going to share about my experiences on my job hunt 2023 editions and how I passed my interviews and technical exams and technical interviews this year. So the last time that I did this kind of video was at the height of the pandemic. It's how I landed my first job. And for first-time job seekers, you can check this video out. It might help you and it will mean a lot to me if you watch this. Ayun, so of course, I have a different experience now on my job hunt kasi it's been 3 years. Like, oh my god, it's been 3 years since I made that video. Almost 3 years actually. And parang in a snap, biglang 3 years na pala ako nag-work na hindi ko naman lang parang ramdam masyado. Ayun. So, of course, the companies that I'm applying for right now has a higher expectations for me kasi yun nga, may experience na tayo. And this is the first time na nakaranas ako ng technical interviews and technical exams as well. So, not sure dun sa mga first-time job seekers kung meron din kayong technical interviews and technical exam. I think it depends on the company. Pero ako, this is my first time that I ever experienced that. So I'm gonna share some tips then on how I passed those interviews and exams as well. Okay, so let's go to the first tip right now. So my first tip that I can share to you guys is always update your resume or CV and also your profile on job hunt sites like LinkedIn, Indeed, or JobStreet. So whatever that you're using na platform para makapaghanap ng work, always update. Make sure to update your profile and also make sure to always upload unupdated CV or resume. So whenever you acquired a certification, a licensure, or you attended a seminar that is relevant to your role or dun sa ina-applyan mong role, you have to put it on your resume para nakikita nila na that as years goes by, yung skills mo, pa-upgrade siya ng pa-upgrade and you're not just stagnant on that skills na you have 2 years ago. So, always make sure to make your resume and CV up to date as well. And meron din ako isang tip when you're using a LinkedIn. Kasi ako, LinkedIn kasi yung main job hunt site ko. So, I always make sure to get a recommendation from someone na minanage ako or kilala talaga ako. So, I have a recommendation from a former professor, a former college classmate, and my team leader, my supervisor, and also the CEO of my past company, which is the Australian company that I've been working for since last year. So, ayun. Nakuha ko yung mga recommendations nila. And yes, kinakapalan ko yung mukha ko to get a recommendations from them. So, nagme-message lang ako sa kanila through LinkedIn. So, wala namang pilitan yun kung magbibigay sila or hindi. Pero it's good kasi to receive a good recommendations from someone na mas higher sa'yo or nag-train sa'yo or someone na kilala ka. Kasi the recruiters can have a glimpse of who you are, kung ano yung work ethics mo, how you build relationship with your colleagues, ganyan. And hindi ka naman kasi nila i-recommend if, diba, if pangit yung performance mo. Not unless, if ka-close mo talaga sila. So, kung ka-close mo sila, like, hey, recommend me, gano'n. Pero, diba, like, from a managerial side, you won't be recommended kung hindi naman talaga maganda yung performance mo. So, it's also a good way to upgrade your profile on LinkedIn or on other sites na meron mong recommendations. Ayun. And also, based from my experiences din kasi, kapag up-to-date lagi yung profile mo or yung CV mo, minsan hindi ka na mahihirapan maghanap ng work. Like, some of the recruiters, makikita ka nila and then sila yung mag-reach out sa'yo. And I'm gonna send proof here as well. Baka sinabi niyo kasi nagbabluff ako. Char. Anyways, ayan. So, from my experiences then, some of them, sila na mismo yung nag-reach out sa akin, ganyan. And they're offering to apply for this particular position or particular opening on their company kasi nakita nila na I have this kind of experience nga na hinahanap nila. Or maybe use the keywords as well sa resume mo or sa profile mo. Kasi minsan yung recruiters, keywords lang din ng skills yung hinahanap nila. And pag sinearch nila yun and then nasa resume or profile mo yun, parang magpo-pop up ka. So there's a lot of videos explaining those kinds of tips and tricks on IG and on TikTok as well. And you can check that out kasi short videos lang siya and sobrang okay nung mga tips nila for kung paano yung papagandahin yung resume niya. And also, keep your resume short, like 1 to 2 pages lang. And yung ilagay nyo lang doon na mga experiences is yung mga relevant experiences nyo lang. And also, yung mga skills nyo din, like, make sure to have a good way para ma-explain kung ano yung soft skills and technical skills na meron kayo dun sa resume niya. Also, keep it simple. I think yun yung nakuha ko talagang tips from my former university na parang keep your resume simple. Like, you don't need yung mga bar graph na andon. So, parang, kasi noong una ginawa ko din yun. Tapos parang sabi na, no, just keep it simple. And then, I keep it simple. And then, I stick that way. Resume. And it's making wonders naman for me. It's working naman for me. So, next naman, for the first time job seekers pala, guys, if you have a guidance counselor, alam ko may program sila na pwede nyo ipacheck yung mga resume nyo sa kanila. So, before you apply sa work, before you graduate or anything, pwede kayong pumunta sa mga guidance counselor nyo sa school and then pacheck nyo lang yung resume nyo or maybe get some help from one of your professors na willing mag-help. Pero ako kasi, lumapit din ako sa guidance counselor namin nung college ako before ako mag-start ng work. Yun. Tapos parang pinacheck ko sa kanila yung resume ko kung okay na ba yung mga nakalagay or something, ganyan. So, baka mayroong program din yung mga guidance counselor yung sa schools for that. Okay? So, next is the second tip. So, when you're applying for work, syempre magsa-search kayo, always create an alert for a job na ina-applyan nyo. Let's say, ako kasi, yung mga alerts na meron ako is for solar designer, electrical engineer, solar engineer. So, those three naka-create ng alert sa akin. And why create an alert? Kasi, kapag naka-alert siya sa'yo, you can receive email notifications na may opening sa gantong company, na may opening sa ganyan, na gantong role. It might align to what you're looking for. So, ayun, makikita nyo rin siya sa email nyo. So, kahit hindi kayo nakababad sa job hunt sites, meron pa din kayo marireceive na notifications via email na pwede kayo mag-apply sa ganito, sa ganyan. So, ayun. And also, before you click apply, always make sure to read the description of your work. Always know who the company is. Ano ba yung perks na ina-offer ng company sa mga workers nila? Or ano ba yung work setting, work days, work hours, gano'ng katagal? Ganyan. Kung work from home ba, part-time, full-time, contractual ba, may chance ba na maging regular ka, complete benefits ba? These are so important, guys. So, wag lang kayong apply. Always know kung kanino kayo nag-a-apply, para saan kayo nag-a-apply, ganyan. Ano yung role na ina-applyan nyo. And always make sure to understand the job description nung ina-applyan nyo. Okay? Okay. Make sure to read, and understand. Paulit-ulit ako dun. Like, kahit gano'n pang karami yung work na applyan nyo, always make sure to read and understand the job descriptions that you're applying to. And of course, minsan kasi nababasa natin, kasi lagi ito nasa top part, like parang, kailangan 5 years of experiences, ganyan. So, as someone na 2 to 3 years lang yung experience ko, parang pass, ganyan. Hindi na ako mag-a-apply kasi wala naman akong 5 years of experience, ganyan. So, most of us think that way. Pero ako kasi, I always think na kailangan ko pa rin mag-apply kahit hindi ko ma-achieve hindi ko na-achieve yung years of experience na hinahanap nila. Bakit? Kasi first of all, baka I do have the skills that they need, and kahit hindi ko ma-attain kahit wala ko ng experience na hinahanap nila, like 5 years of experiences, I can also do the work and I can be trained kasi meron ako nung skills na parang basic skills or foundation skills nung trabaho na yun. And second, baka kasi may opening pa, diba? Baka may opening na pwede sa akin, ganyan. Lalo na kapag gusto mo yung company, like, sige lang, apply ka lang. Kasi, there's no harm in trying. Parang wala namang mawawala sa'yo kapag sinend mo yung resume mo sa kanila. Okay? At least you tried. At least, especially kapag dream company mo yan, at least masasabi mo sa sarili mo na, oh, I tried. It's okay if I failed. At least I tried. At least you did something. Ayun. Okay. So, after mo makapag-apply, ano nga ba yung gagawin mo? Of course, kung marami kang ina-applyan, kung isa or dalawa, tatlo lang yan, syempre hindi ka pa madilito. Pero what if kung katulad ko na 5, 10, umabot na ako ng 15 na in-applyan, ganyan, nang sabay-sabay, matatandaan mo pa ba yun? So, I always make sure that I list every applications that I send. So, dapat meron akong tracker. Kung hindi man, sinusulat ko siya, or kung hindi, gumagawa ko nito. This is my job hunt tracker. Ito, Google Sheet, Google Sheet template. Sobrang dali na lang gawin. Like, ita-type mo lang, ganyan. And add sa personalization. Pero sobrang dali niya lang gawin. And nilalagay ko dyan yung company name, the status of my applications, if they already viewed my applications, if they already contacted me, kung ni-reject ba nila yung application ko, hindi ba ako tanggap, ganyan. Or kung nasa initial interview na ba ako, kung for final interview, or kung in-offer na nila ako ng job offer, ganyan. So, nakalagay yun sa status. And also, nilalagay ko din dito yung date kung kailan nila ako natawagan, kung kailan ako na initial interview. And also, at the very end column, nilalagay ko dyan yung mga comments ko about the company, like initial impression about the company, and also kung may sinabi man sa akin first impression yung mga nakausap ko during the interview, during the phone interviews. Ayan, so nilalagay ko din doon. So now let's talk about the interviews. So I think we all know that the first interview is called the initial interviews. So dito sa initial interviews, may tatawag lang sa'yo na parang HR staff or admin or recruiters na sila yung ang role nila is to find people that fits for the role. So, hindi ka ba i-judge dito? So, they're just gonna ask you, like, basic information, like, talk about yourself, your experiences. Kung meron man silang extra question, like, if you have, if they're looking for the skills, rate your skills, kung from 1 to 10, ganyan. Like, kung 7 ba or 10, ganyan. Dun sa skills na hinahanap nila. It's just about yourself, like past experiences, why ka nag-resign, ganyan, and everything. It's just simple questions and it's easy to answer it. Of course, when you answer, especially kapag may tinanong na, kunyari nag-AutoCAD ka ba, ganyan. Ano yung skills mo, rate your skills ng AutoCAD from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. Always make sure to answer with honesty, okay? Kasi kung ano yung sagot mo doon, ipapasa nila yun sa HR manager or sa manager na magiging probable manager mo kapag na-hire ka sa company na yun. And of course, i-base nila yung mga tanong nila doon sa sinabi mong rating mo sa skills na yun. Like, kung sabi mong 10 na parang master mo yung skills na to, kailangan mo patunayan mo na dapat 10 ka, okay? So, kung alam mo lang na nasa mid-level ka lang, and then, magsabi ka ng safe answer, like 5 or 7, like, really rate yourself. And also pala, meron sa mga initial interview sa akin, tinanong kung ano daw ba yung tingin sa akin nung mga dati kong ka-work or like dati kong manager, ganyan. Of course, I cannot speak on their behalf, pero I speak based on their review on me, kasi dun sa mga password ko parang merong monthly review or every 3 months quarterly review, employer review. So ayun, nag-base ako doon. Pero if ever na maghanap sila ng solid proof na ganito yung tingin ng manager ko sa akin, di ba? I have something to give them. Hindi yung parang sabi-sabi. Kasi sabi niya magaling daw ako eh, gano'n. So always make sure that you're speaking facts, okay? So let's not let's now talk about the technical interview. So after the initial interview is the second interview. So on my experiences, sa second interview, andun na lahat yung mga technical questions. And after the technical interview, andun din yung technical exams if ever man na nire-require din yun ng company. So, firstly naman, technical exams, yung sagot mo, it doesn't have to be right. You're just testing your skills kung anong alam mo. Ako kasi as an engineer, so yung mga technical exams, it's more on engineering din. Like, may mga formulas, ganyan. Parang refresher lang sa mga formulas na tinuro sa atin ng college, ganyan. And minsan may binibigay silang situation na kailangan mong solusyonan as an engineer. And yung mga technical exams naman, ano siya, related siya sa role na ina-applyan mo. So, they're just testing kung paano mo solusyonan yung mga problems or yung mga situations na binigay nila in that examination. So, on top of your interview, binibigay yan minsan. So, dun sa technical exams, just answer it with all your might, with all you can, kung ano lang yung kaya mong sagutan. Kasi, yung naranasan ko, I do have 2 companies na nagbigay sa akin ng technical exams. So, parang may duration sila na within an hour or like within 2 hours, dapat masubmit ko siya. So, yung isang technical exams, it's a situational exam. Parang binigyan nila ako ng isang situations and they give me like data and I have to assess the data, ganyan. And the other naman is more on like, parang exam siya sa school ko, ganyan. Parang refresher ng mga formulas nung college, especially mga majors namin and as an electrical engineer. Ganon. So, okay, let's now talk about technical interviews. Before you go to the second interviews, make sure that you're geared up. So, this is the first tip that I'm gonna give you to prepare dun sa second interview nyo. First is, be geared up, be prepared. Kasi if you're not prepared, pag kinabahan ka, wala kang masasagot. Or kung may masasagot ka, hindi mo siya ma-explain ng maayos, mauutal-utal ka, or mag-iisip ka ng matagal and mawawalan ka ng time to sell yourself, to sell your skills, and para ma-impress mo sila, diba? So, hindi mo masasabi mga gusto mo kapag wala ka naka-prepared. So, first things first is that you have to anticipate the questions na pwede nilang itanong sa'yo. You can search sa Google yung mga common questions na tinatanong nila for your role. So, kapag sinearch mo, let's say, sa mga solar designers like me yun, pwede mong i-search sa Google yung mga common HR questions na tinatanong for that role or sa kung ano man na ina-apply, no? Pero mostly naman kasi isa lang yung mga common questions na binibigyan nila. First, yung pinakasikat is how do you handle stress? Next, ito mga tinanong din to sa akin ha. So, next is ano yung pinakamahirap na project na nagawa mo, or is there any problem that you face during your time dun sa dati mong company, dun sa mga project mo dati, and how do you resolve it, ganyan. So, yun yung mostly na tinatanong. And also, ito pa pala, where do you see yourself in 5 years? So, I think, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Such a tricky questions, kasi parang tinitignan nila kung magiging loyal ka ba sa company or kung naka-align pa din ba yung goals mo in the future dun sa role na ina-applyan mo. Kasi pag sinagot mo yun, I think parang dun nila makikita kung magtatagal ka ba sa company na yun sa role na ina-applyan mo or mag-change career ka ba after nun. Parang ganon. So, I think dun nila tinatest yung magiging career or future goals on where do you see yourself in 5 years. So, to answer those questions, you have to prepare a story for every questions that you can think or kung ano man yung mga ma-search mo sa Google, ang mga common questions na pwedeng itanong sa'yo. Prepare an answer, prepare a story for it, and practice kung paano mo siya sasagutin. Okay? Kasi like I said, kapag wala ka naka-prepare, you are prone for parang ma-black out, makalimutan mo, hindi mo masagot, or kung masasagot mo man siya, syempre mag-iisip ka pa, and it will take like a few minutes then kapag nag-isip ka. Tapos kapag nag-isip ka kasi on the spot, syempre parang minsan kinakabahan ka na ganyan. Hindi mo siya ma-explain ng maayos. Hindi mo siya ma-explain into words. So always make sure that you're prepared. Huwag kang sumambak sa gera na hindi ka prepared, okay? Na wala kang baril. So yun yung lagi din sinasabi ng parents ko na parang huwag kang sasabak onto something na hindi ka talaga fully prepared, okay? Next tip, guys, is to speak with confidence, conviction, and honesty. So this three is so important. Okay, so always speak with confidence kahit kinakabahan ka. And the way you speak kasi, it translate, alam mo yung sinasabi mo, na parang you're so confident into selling your story kasi nangyari talaga siya. Kasi alam mo talaga yung sinasabi mo. Unlike na kapag pautal-utal ka, like kinakabahan ka, na parang nagsastutter ka ganyan. Minsan kasi pwedeng ang ma-translate nila doon is hindi ka na nga prepared, parang minsan gumagawa ka pa ng story or hindi ka panipaniwala yung story na sinasabi mo. So always speak with confidence and with conviction. And lastly is to speak with honesty. Answer questions with honesty. Whether you know it or hindi, always say na explain it kung alam mo. Kung hindi mo alam, say na hindi mo alam. Okay? Kasi most of the employers, they value honesty. Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin na 10 out of 10 ka sa skill na to. Pero kapag tinanong ka regarding those skills, na parang wala kang pang backup kasi hindi mo talaga alam. Kasi you're not a 10 out of 10 for that skills. So, kapag sinabi nilang rate yourself for the skills, let's say ako, tinanong nila ako, rate your AutoCAD skills from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest. And I say 6. Kasi hindi ako nakapag-AutoCAD for 1 year. And I have to be honest, like, hindi ko talaga siya masyadong gamay kasi hindi ko siya napapractice. And hindi ko na siya napractice sa past work ko before I apply here. And parang ang feedback nila sa akin na like, I appreciate your honesty kasi may iba silang in-interview that time na sinabi 9 out of 10 daw, pero nung tinanong nila regarding sa mga AutoCAD matters or like pinag-demo nila or something, not sure, hindi naman daw ma-backupan yung rating na binigay. So, ganun. So, it's very important for you to be honest. And also, pag tinanong nila to rate your skills, always make sure na rate yourself kung ano man yung parang totoong rating mo sa sarili mo. Always assess yourself first. Ayan. So, the next tip naman is to know the basics of your professions. So, for example, as an electrical engineer, I do need to know the basics of an electrical engineer. Which is, which is, yun, yung mga Ohm's law, like, OCPDs, the difference between AC and DC, ganyan. So, yun yung mga common questions na tinanong din sa akin. And, of course, I do have to know that. Pwede ka rin mag-prepare for this, pero kasi ako, nag-prepare ako, pero, alam mo yun, dun sa mga pinipare ko, sobrang complicated pala ng mga in-anticipate ko na itatanong sa akin, pero hindi siya yung tinanong kung ano yung mga basics, like basics ng as a solar designer and as an electrical engineer. Yun yung tinanong nila sa akin. And yung iba, as in kinabahan ako, sinabi ko na hindi ko alam. Tapos, kasi there's a lot of regulations in the US and Australia na hindi naman applicable here in the Philippines. Sinatanong nila sa akin yung about sa Philippines. And of course, I have to be honest regarding that na I don't have any background dito sa regulations ng solar in the Philippines. But I do know kung ano yung sa Australia and sa US. So, yun yung in-answer ko. And at the end of the day, parang minsan pareho sila, like minsan hindi. Ganyan. So, at least, may nag-gain akong knowledge through them kasi na-explain din nila sa akin. Tapos, ayun, may naging din silang knowledge sa akin kasi na-share ko din sa kanila kung ano yung alam ko. So, parang, ayun, it's a good thing din naman na sabihin mong hindi mo alam kasi minsan ay na-explain na din yung manager na nag-interview sa'yo kung ano yung mga hindi mo alam. So, it's good then to be honest that marami ka pang hindi alam. Pero, if you do have the foundations kasi you can work your way and your skills through those basics and through those foundations. Kasi at the end of the day, yun naman talaga yung kailangan mo. So, ano nga ba yung mga tinanong sa akin? Ayun, what is the difference between AC and DC? And of course, binigyan din nila ako ng mga simple questions like, kapag ganito yung rating ng inverter or solar mo, ano yung gagamitin mong relay or ano yung gagamitin mong OCPD, ganyan. Tapos ano yung mga multiplier, anong tawag na, basta yung 1.95% kapag continuous load, ganyan. So, tinanong nila sa akin yun. And all of those questions na tinanong nila, tinuro yun lahat sa akin nung college ako. So, hindi lang siya natutunan ko through work, natutunan ko din siya through schools. And, ayun, parang, you just need to take it by heart na dapat alam mo to, na dapat napapractice mo to, kahit minsan hindi siya applicable sa mga dating work mo. Dapat kahit papano, alam mo siya by heart. Kasi, it's your profession eh. It's the basic of your profession. And, at the end, and yun pa rin, dun pa rin naka-align yung goals ko. Dito pa rin sa profession na to naka-align yung career goals ko. So, ayan. Ayun na, parang yun yung most yung tinanong nila sa akin. And, ano pa ba? Kasi, kung sa job descriptions nila nakalagay need mo ng power systems, ayun, baka itatanong din nila regarding power systems, ganyan. So, kaya sabi ko, you really need to read and understand the job descriptions. Kasi, dun ka din makakakuha ng ideas kung ano yung mga pwede nilang itanong sa'yo in the technical interviews. So, for my experience, yun lang naman yung mga tinanong nila. And, ayun pa pala, sa pag-installations, kasi ako kasi more on design. So, tinanong nila sa akin, ano yung mga common conduit type and conduit size, and also ano yung mga common grounding size na ginagamit sa mga solar. So ako, sinagot ko lang siya based on what I know dun sa mga designs namin sa US dati. Tapos ayun, parang same lang din sila dito ginagamit, yung mga conduits, ganyan. So, and I did say na hindi ako masyadong maalam regarding installations kasi I focus more on the design. And naging honest din ako na hindi ako masyadong gumagawa ng engineering side dun sa mga dinedesign ko. So, I'm more of design talaga. Parang design ng solar sa house, ganyan. Pero not really on the engineering side. Which is, the engineering side kasi yung mga SLD, ganyan. So, sinabi ko din yan sa kanila para hindi rin sila magulat na parang, ala, ba't di niya to alam? Gano'n. So, parang sobrang naging honest lang ako sa ano ba yung kaya ko, ano ba yung mga skills na lacking ako, ganyan. So, yan, just be honest. And, ano pa ba? I'm thinking pa yung ano pa yung pwede kong mabigay na tips sa inyo. Pero I think mostly yun lang naman. Let's have a recap. First is, be ready, geared up, anticipate all the questions that you can think of and that you can search of na pwedeng itanong sa'yo during the interviews. Second is to speak with conviction, confidence, and honesty. Very important yung honesty, guys. Third is know the basic of your professions. Whether you're an engineer or not, you have to know the basics of your profession or kung ano man yung ina-applyan mo. Okay? And then lastly is read and understand your job descriptions. Kasi dun din manggagaling yung mga questions na ibabato nila sa'yo. So, that's it for the technical interviews. And yun lang din yung magbibigay kong tips sa inyo, guys. So, if you do have comments and other things that you can think of, you can also share in the comment sections below. And I do appreciate you guys watching this video, and I hope this helps. And see you guys in the next vid. Bye!